We will start our journey with the end of 2018, and there it was a familiar track. We knew it from somewhere, but it was hard to remember. We were all losing our minds. The original was published by John, a krautrock and post-punk band from Germany, in their third studio album called Egebamyası. And the funny thing is, in the original lyrics, it was actually "You are losing your vitamin C." I never heard a more post-punk lyrics than this, I think. But fast forward, Rory and Jaden Smith remixed the original one and called it Losing Your Mind. And it got especially popular due to a musical drama published by Netflix that is called The Get Down. And it was this time Adam Beyer and Bart Skils were actually testing this version by turning into the techno track in their concerts. In the end, the track has stayed on Beatport Top 100 list in all genres for 2 months, from November to December. So the track starts the regular peak time techno kick. And on top of that, we see this also the modern rumble. If you want to know more about the rumbles, I will add a video here. And we have a group processing just to smooth everything up. Adam Beyer had kind of a bass layer to make it a bit more authentic. This is just a serum patch. And to make it even more like a peak time techno track, we will have this signature modern distorted hi-hat sound. 16 hat. Slightly sidechain the kick. This one is supported by open and closed hats. So we have this top hat and a bottom hat complementing each other nicely. And we are sending this to the reverb to get this splashy sound. Whatever room reverb that you are using, don't forget to distort it to get really this splashy, crunchy techno sound. And finally, to create this main room ambience, we have a ride but tons of reverb on top. Taking a short piece of a ride, putting a lot of reverb and sidechaining the kick. Making it low in the volume so it is not overtaking the mix and just giving this nice ambience. And after this point, we continue with the sampling from the original track. And the first thing is that weird Rhodos style keys. Together. So again, quite minimalistic, straightforward approach with a really good execution. And on top, when you slap the original vocals on top, this really glues everything each other. So the really minimalistic track, and the composition wise track really goes like this whole track. We have this small additional acid line, but it's not really taking over the track but staying much on the background. So let's jump back to the second track. This video is sponsored by Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. Liberty 3 Pro is Soundcore's new noise cancelling earbuds. These earbuds has coaxial dual driver technology, and it delivers high and low end sound frequency without interference. You can pick from 4 different color options, and it comes really with wide variety of cushions so that you can actually find the one that passes your ear most. I haven't tried all the earbuds in this range, but the Soundcore says that it is the best earbuds that you can have under $300 price range. And what is unique with these earbuds is actually they have something called Hear ID technology. So behind it there is a noise cancelling algorithm that adapts to your hearing and the environment to give you the best noise cancelling experience. I really like to do critical listening, and I really want to hear all the details so that I can think about how it is created. And these earbuds were really cool with that because I could really identify different instruments, different sound while having really good sound cancelling. You can get $20 off between 7 to 14 October by using the links below. Then 2019 came, the dancing world, and indeed Spotify taken by another hit, and we were losing again. The tech house superstars Chris Lake and Fisher released Losing It July 2018. However, it was January 2019 when the track reached the #1 position on top 100 list in Beatport, and it stayed there whole 2019. At the moment of this video, the track has got 320 million plays on Spotify, making it not only a dance floor hit, but indeed a big Spotify hit as well. While you may expect very complicated and advanced production process for such a hit track, the reality was completely the other way around. There is one thing that immediately grabs your attention in Losing It, and it is kick and especially bass. We have this sound with these effects. By the way, I have a full tutorial on this track. I will add the link here. You can take a look after the video if you want to see. So the first clap. And on top we have the analog hats. and a slight percussion. Again, extremely minimalistic, straightforward approach to the low end and the high end. What makes this track more unique is this really cool lead sound and how the sound is actually enriched by small details. Because it's a very minimalistic track, every small details are important. So here we have the top layer, more plucky, and bottom layer, more breathing like. So this makes this lead extremely groovy. It's like bum ba bum ba. Take a look. Sound design wise, this is really straightforward. We have sawtooths and a bit distortion and chorus on top and a little bit EQ. And the note wise, we are really inspired by the bass. So we are embracing the bass lead and enhancing it. And on top, another really lead sound, really on the background, just makes the track a bit more exciting. Again, extremely minimalistic track, but super catchy at the same time. And they together sound something like this. Really inspiring stuff. Let's go to the next one. After losing ourselves for 2 consecutive years, it was time to return to Oz. Melodic techno was on the rise during 2010s. And many considered it the new popular kid under the techno umbrella. As from trance listeners to mainstream progressive house listeners, everybody could find a piece in it that they like. It kind of made the melodic techno that sympathetic little kid in the family that everybody likes. And oh boy, did Artbat deliver the hit of the year by utilizing all the popular concepts in the genre. Alright, we are back to the melodic techno, and what a track this is. So we had this kick, but the bass line on top was really nice. So it utilized this driving melodic techno pattern, getting this more analog sounding track, right? I'm using my analog wavetables here to get that sound. This really plasticky sound, a little bit about distortion and a bit about compression, even weirdly a bit reverb to give this ambience. And on top of this, giving this ambient delays on the return channel. It was sidechained to itself, so that when the bass hits, it ducks a little bit. And there we have a little bit of reverb and a bit echoing so that it sits right in the right place. And once you couple this one with the hats and the drums, this is right here is melodic techno 101 low end and high end. Beautiful, straightforward, really juicy. Ambience really came from this really big plug sound. Putting 2 sawtooths on each other and putting into the one unison so that you get this really bright and slightly stereo sound. And of course distorting it a bit, the chorus to getting all this lush sound. By the way, this is our lush skin for serum. You can find it on mercurialtones.com. But the main ambience really comes from the big reverb that is standing over here. Distorting it to like really dirty and sidechaining to itself. Very melodic techno thing. So that we can hear this initial pluck much cleaner. And on top we have this really percussive layer to cut through the mix. So together. But there's still something missing, and that was actually the guitar plugs from the original. As this was a remix, it's probably from the guitars of Monoling, but I just grabbed a sample from SYNTHS and added like this. But altogether they sound like this. There's one more thing, it is a very melodic techno lead sound. Rather than showing it here, I will show you a previous video. And here we go, the concept continues. Nail the main idea, make it really charming, and glue them together. Now let's change the genre one more time. While Beatport was taken by new and popular kids past 3 years, there was one legendary track that nobody has really ever forgotten. And the name of the track is actually House Music Anthem by Jefferson. And the story goes like this. Despite pressing the track early, Move Your Body was not released by Trax Records because label owner Larry Sherman didn't like the track and he believed that it is not really house music. And this led to Marshall Jefferson to add the house music anthem to the title of the track rather than calling it Move Your Body. And it was again that time the British journalists come to Chicago to take a look at this blooming house music movement in Chicago. And according to the story, they visited 5 different clubs in Chicago and every one of them was playing house music anthem or the Move Your Body at the time. And the crowd reaction was extremely positive to the track and everybody was going crazy. And it is said that it is this reaction from the crowd and the club led the track to be released on the Trax Records. And Jefferson himself commented actually, it probably never would have come out, but it had gotten so big in all clubs in Chicago, it had to be released. The track got so iconic. If we were to look at who sampled who, you will see that there are 71 different songs actually sampled house music anthem. It's mind-blowing how much a crowd can change the story of a song. And we fast forward again, it was 2020, the track had a new version. It was actually quite similar to the original version but somehow modernized, and it was made by Salardo and stayed in top 100 #1 position for 3 months. We cycled back in time and now we have a house track. A medium-sized house kick, good amount of tail on that, and then we have groovy vintage style bass sound. A bass sound that takes you directly to the 90s. Again, I'm really abusing these analog wavetables to get this really more analog sound out of the serum, and adding a bit distortion on top really nails it. Who needs Moog, right? And then, of course, you need to get this jacking high end so that you have this house groove really going on. Enriching the high end, giving this old school feeling with drum breaks. So I'm talking about this type of, and this. And when you layer this one with the drum break, and here we simply have a really regular drum break. So all these effects to get this dirt out of it. And finally, we come to the main hook of the track, that piano. That piano hooks you straight ahead, follows the bass line, and gets you in. Simple 3-chord chord progression. This simplicity really makes it extremely catchy and sticks to your brain. And on top, we have of this very classic vocal gluing everything all together. Simple and super dope. 3 years, 4 different tracks, 4 different genres, completely different stories. But there was one thing that is common in all these 4 tracks. A minimalist approach to the core concepts in the genre and executing the ideas to the perfection.